they're almost these like Enlightenment humanistic ideas where, we are fundamentally, good by nature. The babies are born innocent and good. And God.
Do we ever say that babies are born innocent and good? No corruption, no.
And again, we've, not to beat this drum, but again, their statement of faith says that Adam's sin did not result in the incapacitation of any free will, nor render any person guilty. Okay, it's not a misrepresentation. He does believe that people are born innocent, right? And that is really what Tyler and I were focusing on in this entire thing, because it really is the central point of the debate: is what state is fallen man born into? And this is where Leighton wants to say, well, where do we ever say that people are born innocent and good? Well, you teach that they're born innocent, and here you want to mention corruption and
Dead spiritually.
Dead spiritually. What is spiritual death, Leighton? Spiritual death is the punishment for sin. This is, again, the contradiction of your view, something we're still waiting for you to explain, something you had the perfect opportunity to explain in your responses to us, but avoided it at all costs. How can you say that someone who has not been rendered guilty by Adam's sin, has not yet sinned and rendered themselves guilty, is an innocent person, morally speaking, and yet is spiritually dead? God has created them in a spiritually dead state. How is that not unjust on God's part? If the wages of sin is death, if separation from God, he likes to talk about, it's just you're outside the garden, you're separated from God. Well, what is that? That is punishment for sin. So how can innocent people be born into a punished state? How can someone who has not yet sinned be under the curse of death, spiritual death, and separation from God? This is something we're waiting for you to explain.
They can't deal with actual provisionism, it seems to me.
Leighton, it's hard to deal with your position when you won't even explain it. You failed in your response to answer our most basic question. How can you be born into an innocent state and yet suffer the wages of sin, spiritual death and separation from God? We're left pointing at that as a contradiction, and you're accusing us of a misrepresentation. Well, in order to demonstrate that it's a misrepresentation, you need to explain how it's a misrepresentation. And unfortunately, you didn't do that in your response.
Why not just deal with the actual provisionist statements and claims and words?
That's exactly what we have been doing.